Hey everyone, I'm Almar of almarsguides.com, and this video here is for Asheron's Call, and it's going to go over the Insatiable Vault, which is a level 125 plus Eater dungeon. So, the reason I'm going to be making a video for this dungeon is because it is a great place to gain experience past level 125, and probably even a little bit further past that. Maybe you'll be able to come here starting at about like 135, depending on how you've allocated your experience over the past 100 levels. You know, if you spent too much into silly stuff like jump, run, loyalty, leadership, and things like that, and not enough into melee defense, you might not be able to handle this dungeon at, the lower level ranges. So, the main reason I decided to make a video for this dungeon is because you'll be making about 100 million XP an hour here. You'll be making a ton of XP here every hour. When I struggled a lot with this dungeon, I was making about 77 million an hour here, and that was, constant. That was with a ton of downtime when I was hunting here. Chances are, if you don't have much downtime, you'll be able to make much more experience than I was making per hour throughout your adventures in this dungeon. Also, another one of my favorite things about this dungeon was I made a ton of money off of the salvage that I got from here. I got tons of salvage of all kinds from this dungeon. I got tons of steel, mahogany, brass, granite. Pretty much every salvage I could ever hope for, I was able to get from this dungeon. Also, all of those rank 7 spells that I didn't have, just a spell here and there, stuff like that, maybe like a buff to leadership or a buff to loyalty or something like that, I was able to find them here. Now, of course, with most mobs that are over level 100, you'll be able to find rank 7 spells on, but, you might as well make a lot of XP while you're actually hunting for the spells, otherwise it's just a waste of time, you know what I mean? And also, this dungeon has eater jaws at the bottom of it, which are used for actually two different things. There's two different eater jaws at the bottom of this dungeon. Both of these eater jaws serve completely different purposes, however, both of them are pretty much equally as useful. Now, one eater jaw, the regular one, is just called Eater Jaw, is used for a quest to turn into a Fune and Fune outpost, and it will flag you to kill Sir Bellis. You'll be able to do this once every 13 days, and killing Sir Bellis will drop a blank augmentation gem for you. Turning in this blank augmentation gem will, pretty much as you guessed it, be able to get you an augmentation for your character. Augs are extremely powerful things for your character that will enhance your character in ways that experience and levels pretty much just can't do. Some augs take a lot of experience. Some of the better ones take up to 4 billion experience with each turn-in. And then you also have other ones that only take like 500 million that are repeatable, such as, turning in an aug for +5 innate strength or something like that. And then you also have other augs that only take 2 billion that take, give you an extra pack slot or take away a foci when you go to cast. You won't need, say, item magic foci anymore or something like that. Augs are definitely something you want to spend your time researching and getting some as quickly as possible, or start working towards getting a few augs as early as possible. After all, due to the fact that they take so much experience to get, you probably won't want to aug anything until around level 200 in the first place. Otherwise you'll have more useful areas to spend your experience in. But as you start maxing skills, you won't have any other useful areas to spend your experience in, and you'll be able to just get an aug gem and then pretty much use it. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Also, pretty much as the level 125 plus suggests, you must be level 125 to enter this dungeon. The point is worth reiterating just because it is, I don't want anybody to think they can enter this dungeon at a lower level and, leech or something like that. It just doesn't work like that in this dungeon. Aside from that, you'll want to keep in mind if you're here for, whether or not you're here for experience, loot, or the eater jaws, this dungeon is pretty much a great place to stop and kill every single thing as you go through. Now, you're definitely going to get decent experience even if you're just running through here for the eater jaws. Like I said, I'd recommend you stop and kill everything, but that's up to you if you don't want to. And there's always, you know, that chance you might get lost if you're just breezing through here for the eater jaws, because of the dungeon is pretty confusing. The only tip I can give you for navigating to the bottom of this dungeon is when you start running around in circles on the second level, there's one area where pretty much you would follow the same path, that there's a turnoff to follow a second path. Follow that, and you'll be able to just continue through the dungeon, and it's easy from there. There's like, you know, a hallway that turns like once or twice, and then you jump down, and then you jump down again. You're pretty much down at the portal area. Now, at the portal area, there's a few different eaters down here. I think there's like 6 or 7 that spawn. And only like 1 or 2 of them actually are flagged to drop the upper end eater, upper end, I guess you could call it lower, despite it just being called eater jaw. Kill that eater, he'll drop both the jaws, loot them both, and then you'll be able to turn one in for experience, quite a bit I might add, and the other one you'll be able to turn in for, you know, getting flagged for Sir Bellis, and then you will definitely want to go kill him very, very, very shortly after getting flagged for him. Otherwise, you know, your timers will be all screwed up, and you'll get the eater jaw like 3 days before, you know, it's time to kill Sir Bellis. And you don't really want, you know, that inconvenience of having your timers all whacked out. So aside from that, there's 2 more things worth mentioning. 1, make sure you have high melee defense before coming to the eaters. You'll definitely need it. 2, make sure you buff your armor before coming to the eaters. You'll definitely need that as well. And then 3, the eaters in here are vulnerable to... most vulnerable, I should say, to slashing damage and piercing damage. You can alternate between the 2. They're pretty much as vulnerable to one as they are the other. And whichever one you'd like to choose is completely up to you. Maybe you only can get a pierce rend weapon, or maybe you can only get a slash rend weapon. You know, maybe you only have a rank 7 slash spell and no pierce spell, or vice versa. And, you know, the list pretty much goes on with possibilities. But due to the fact that they're vulnerable to 2 things pretty much equally, the choice, it makes more of a choice for you on what you would like to use when fighting here. So aside from that, that's pretty much all there is to say about the Insatiable Vault. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, as always, like, comment, and subscribe to me for future gaming and Asheron's Call videos. As always, good luck, happy hunting, and I'll catch you guys around.